So let's go and do that real quick. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
This is my reminder to set your AI settings. So set your AI settings.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello, hello. Sorry, I'm just saying set your AI settings. Here's your reminder.
Since I'm the one that hosted.
Yeah, I know it's not so much for you, but Calico, looking at you.
Yeah, I just did it now.
Cool.
Just...
Hello, hello. This is your friendly reminder to set AI settings. Do that now.
Okay.
So you don't forget. Hello, hello. This is just your friendly reminder to set your AI settings, just so you don't forget.
So hello. How you doing?
Hello.
What are AI settings?
What are the AI settings? So if you press escape, then one of the options should be AI settings. That basically sets up your country if you're not present for whatever reason. So it doesn't do things like declare war on other players, because if it does, then you could lose that territory.
Roger. So I'll untick Star Wars.
Or anything else that you think you might need, like maybe don't choose ideas. I don't remember exactly what the options are, but it's worth investigating and just choosing what you don't want the AI to do if you're not there. Like breaking alliances, that's another big one. Hello, hello, this is your friendly reminder, set your AI settings.
Okay, then.
Cool. Right, back to the commentary box. I have done my good deed for the day. And if they don't do it now, they have absolutely no excuse, because I've literally talked to each and every single player here. Bohemia objective number 1, glass producer. Really? Let's take a quick look at that. We should do this as Bohemia. Trade goods. Strategic goods. Glass. Down near the bottom. They are indeed the leading glass producer. Bohemia has succeeded in their goal. So the trade goods in Bohemia, they have taken over Rybori, which I guess they've been building up, and also Strubina. Congratulations, Bohemia. That is indeed a successful completion of an objective. So let's go and tick that off. Bohemia. Production leader in glass. Tick. And that can now no longer be lost. They've achieved it. That was a nice early one. I didn't think that would be quite so easy. Particularly because Venice produces a heck of a lot of glass, but I guess having the two provinces with higher base production than Venice has allowed them to do it. And that also means that Venice has just lost their production bonus, which is one reason why you want this. Local goods produce modifier plus 10% for being the production leader. I don't know if that's like global or just for glass. Goods produced, base production plus 1, more exhaustion minus. And if we go back to the glass, goods produced, plus 10 production leader. So it's just for glass. Yeah, it's just for the glass. So any glass provinces that Bohemia has will now be 10% more productive, which can really ratchet up, actually. Like, that's a big bonus. And that's also going to increase the value of trade in this node. So Venetian trade will have just gotten a little bit weaker, which is going to make having... being competitive against Genoa that much more difficult, because Genoa is also just a bigger node. It will draw in more cash. So the trade conflict between these two I think is going to be really interesting, actually. I have high hopes. I have very high hopes. And thanks for reporting that, Cold Rage. Appreciate that. And thank you for spamming it until I acknowledged that. Also useful. Please continue. We have a player war. Hamburg versus Holland, I think. Yep, this is Hamburg fighting against Lubeck. Lubeck is allied to Holland. What's this war over? This is the Hamburgian conquest of Lubeck. So Hamburg is just going all out. I want your capital. Hansa, you are now the hamster. That doesn't really work. So 12,000 troops currently occupying Lubeck. Lubeck is actually a tough nut to crack because it's a level 3 fort at the start of the game. And it just tends to be quite tough. Normal winter adding even more attrition, so they're currently losing 3% attrition, which does tick up at this stage of the game. Doesn't look like any naval powers. Lubeck do have Bremen, Holland and Limburg. I don't know what Holland have done at present. Doesn't look like the Dutch are doing anything really. They're still going after Friesland. They also need to take Oldenburg, which is over here. which Munster is currently occupying. So as soon as Munster has finished off Oldenburg, they should be able to piece that out. And then we may see a Dutch intervention against Hamburg. I don't know. Currently, the Hamburger fleets are blockading the Dutch. It does look like the Dutch lost a naval battle early on. And if we take... Nope, no naval battles at all. Oh, the Dutch lost their fleet against the English when the Dutch were a Burgundian vassal. That's probably what happened, and they just haven't rebuilt it since, having been spending their money instead on expanding in the Netherlands, which is it's legit. Like I said early on, with the possible exception of Britain, England, having navies isn't necessarily the best choice. Like, navies are definitely a Diplo 9 onwards thing to concern yourself with. Early game, they're not hugely strong, because you just don't have that potential to move trade in the numbers that you need to. Nor is trade really worth that much early on. You need to have trade flowing in from the Middle East. You need to have provinces that have actually just started to develop up to produce the trade value, which you can then start moving around and profiting from. Minus 35. Yeah, this siege is going to take a while, unfortunately for them. So what was the other goods produced one? That was going to be... Ooh, Burgundy. Why did that just...
Hello.
Hello.
Hello after the big war, the World War in 1440.
Yeah, how do you feel that went?
Very well.
Yeah.
Better than I expected it would, to be fair, but you played that very well defensively. Like, was good.
I was very upset when they took the fort in Aragon of Narbonne in like 7%. It was so sad. I was like, no, the breakthrough.
Yeah, I think I would have moved my troops a little bit closer earlier than you did, because both Narbonne and Le Bourg were both on 7%, and I was like, that's a little bit risky.
Well, the reason I was waiting is because I wanted Tech 4, and I knew that Aragon and Burgundy wouldn't have it, because they both took 10 corruption at the start of the war to get more money,
Right.
to like erase their army. So I knew that like I'd get it way before them, and I get it before Castile, because he's only got 2, and like mine's got a 4.
Gotcha.
So I was kind of just waiting, yeah, for that.
And I saw you were focusing military as well, so you really hit that Miltech 4 early, and it helped. It really helped, I saw.
Oh yeah. Like I took 150 mil from estates.
And I did see that Burgundy starts off with a +10 morale, so getting that boost over them early on was important.
Yeah, like the reason that I like faced straight away is because like I pretty much got told that I was going to be attacked from day one, which is why I had to ally like literally like all the Italians and the Ottomans.
I mean, that's why these goals exist, is to force that kind of diplomatic intrigue. So getting your alliance chain set up that way was useful, clearly.
Yeah, like I think like the reason why like everyone wants to join my side is because they just made too many like enemies by allying like so many people. Because like they were supposed to have Austria and Hungary in the war. Obviously, that's gonna make Ottomans not very happy. So that's why.
And they were gonna pay for my neutrality, but they didn't pay.
Oh.
So, yep.
Yeah, how did you feel about the Papal States jumping on you during the war?
Oh, that was a great opportunity. It just ruined me in terms of war exhaustion. But I knew French troops were eventually going to trickle down there.
Yeah, I thought it was really ballsy, and I think you did the right job in going after the Papal States to finish them off and then turning around to deal with the Iberians.
Oh yeah, like I just kind of felt bad that Val was like in my land helping me, and I just let him be fully.
Well, you did have other threats facing you after all, and for Florence to have France as a big brother buddy, it's kind of a coup for Florence.
To be honest though, like, the Papal State were actually supposed to be our friend, and they actually backstabbed us.
Well, that may well come back to bite them.
It already has.
Yeah, I have been looking around as I've had time to do so to see which nations are allied with which nations, and the Pope was kind of isolated.
Yeah. But like you know, like as you say, like it has actually kind of come around and bite me in the ass because he's only allied.
You cut out there.
I said he's lost all of his allies apart, and then he decided to ally me. Like under the condition that he's going to excommunicate my enemy, so I take less AE when I kill.
Interesting.
Obviously, not players, but AI.
That's the kind of deal the Pope needs to be making. Like, purposefully tried to set the Pope up as a bit of a puppet master, so he's going to have a lot of control over what other nations do, and it's all kind of going to trickle back in his favour. But he has that incentive to, like, say, we are going to crusade against the Ottomans, let's rally a huge coalition and do this. That type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what the Pope does. I mean, I'm really disappointed we're not going to get a League War. I might see if I can still set one up, but it's just not going to have the same mechanics, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was surprised they funded it. I didn't know they were going to do it so fast.
I did warn you on that.
I just didn't think it was possible. I didn't know about the alliances. That was it. I thought it had to be occupations.
Yeah. I mean, I could definitely help me out that they decided to declare on Austria, so he had to send his troops back to defend and stop sieging Venice.
Yeah, I do wonder how badly this is going to backfire on Brandenburg, though, because he's pissed off basically every other German nation.
Yeah, I mean, like his only friends are Poland and Bohemia, so
yeah.
Big.
Big allies, but that's a lot of attrition to have called down upon oneself. Ooh, Denmark's in a war. Who are you fighting? Denmark has joined... Wait, Hamburg's declared war on... No! Oh, sorry. I need to talk about this, guys.
Yeah. I'll see you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. So Denmark has declared war on Hamburg, so while Hamburg was busy fighting Lubeck, Denmark's decided, you know what, Hansa? No, we're not doing this. So Denmark has come in. They're trying to unsuccessfully liberate Lubeck at present. And this is going to be just Denmark versus Hamburg, Dithmarsh and East Frisia. Like, Hamburg's allies, not very big. And he doesn't have the trade league protecting him anymore because he declared war on his trade leader. So this was a very, very risky move that he's done. And I don't think it's really paid off. So Denmark definitely jumping in with a really good opportunity to come after the Hansa. And remember, they have a lot of opposing goals here. Hamburg needs to take Sjælland from Denmark, and Denmark needs to take a bunch of centres of trade in either the Baltic region, which would mean going up against the Poles and potentially the Prussians, or going up against the Hansa, because the Hansas are going to be the ones controlling all of the centres of trade in the Lubeck trade node. As Venice, I have acquired Alexandria as a goal. So he has. Buying territory, it's legit. It's a little questionable on the Mamluks side, but it's legit. So Venice, own Alexandria. Alright then, thank you. I did wonder if players would start buying and selling land like that. And I may well make that you have to keep that territory to stop people just saying, buy this, buy that, I'll do this in exchange for a favour from you. To be discussed. Because that's not what I was encouraging. But buying territory like this, fine, if Venice is rich enough. What are the Mamluks getting in exchange? They're getting a very hefty subsidy, which is reasonable. Wait, no they're not. Spoils of war plus 50. That's gotta be just gifts. Or land purchase costs. England need to have one area in India and one area in China. So the areas are these chunks. So it'd be like having Garjat or Orissa, or having Desh, and then West Guangdong or East Guangdong, for example. One in each. They're selling more and more of their coastline. What are the Mamluks doing here? Who's playing as them? Bacon. Okay. What's happening in Sicily? The provinces keep switching between Naples and Aragon. No, they don't. Sicily has always been Aragonese. Naples only owns this bit. Holland have now taken a bunch of those territories. Hamburg is still fighting in this. Someone was saying want to join in. I missed who that was though. What is Denmark doing at present? Denmark is going after Hamburg, and there's not a lot that Hamburg can do about this. Like, they made a gamble here, and it has not paid off. Like, this is just classic Hansa kind of conflict. Unfortunately, this might mean the end of Hamburg. Hamburg might well be wiped out here, because they're so small. That is the danger of playing an OPM in a game. A multiplayer game. And that's another reason I like people playing the bigger nations, because it gives you a better reason to stick around after losing a war. Because if you lose a war as an OPM, you're out. Someone new is on Hamburg's side. Nope. And I mean, who has a reason to see Hamburg fall? Denmark fall. England does. So England might want to get involved in this against the Danes, because the stronger the Danes get, the more likely they are to launch their invasion of England to take Danelaw. Trying to think who else. Brandenburg, maybe, just because it's going to be a strong northern neighbour. Poland, potentially, because Denmark may decide that they want to go for the Baltic centres of trade. Holland, because Denmark could be a potential rival in the sea zone. Because Denmark does want to try and get to the English Channel, potentially. Wait, do they? No, that's the Hansa. Yeah, that's the Hansa. Irrelevant. So the number of friends that Hamburg could potentially call on here would be somewhat limited. And they are up. Oh, Brandenburg's jumping in as well now. Yeah, this is it for Hamburg. Game over. Too bad. I was looking forward to seeing a good Hansa being a major trade power up here. But I think that this has been something of a coup for the Danes. Brandenburg is straight up going for Hamburg. Maybe for Lauenburg? Or else the Danes have done some kind of deal to bring the Brandenburg in. Although I'm not entirely sure why they would need the help. Looming disaster, Peasants' War. Whoops. Low stability. Oh, did they break a truce? That sounds like that could be likely. How would I tell? Truce with East Frisia, Cologne, Holland. So no, not necessarily. Executor, thank you very much for the raid. Welcome to the Executioners. Hello and welcome. This is the big multiplayer community clash that I have going on right now, where there are a lot of players. Every single coloured nation here at the moment is being played by a player. And we have a couple of player wars going on at the moment. The main one, I would say, is between Denmark and Hamburg, but I really don't see how Hamburg's going to come back to this. And we also have Brandenburg declaring war on Hamburg too. Hamburg is losing money, they're out of manpower. I don't think there's any coming. 15 loans! Good grief. That's a lot of loans right there. That's an awful lot of loans. Muscovy could... I kind of stupidly didn't actually give Denmark and Muscovy a lot of rivalries. Muscovy and Sweden certainly would be. And next week we will have a Sweden player, but we don't this week. That's one that's being added because Scotland was defeated. And Brandenburg doesn't seem particularly interested in getting their hands dirty. They're just going to let the Danes do it. Unless the Danes said to Brandenburg, hands off, this is ours. Which is entirely possible. Yeah, the loans are small, but there's a lot of them, and for a nation which is just 2 provinces big, those loans are going to be pretty sizable for them. Especially for the mounting interest payments that they're going to have to pay. I mean, they're earning 5 ducats a month, and they're paying almost a fifth of that in interest. That's a lot of money. Their expenses are currently extremely high because of their army. Is their army inflated? Yeah, see, they're over the force limit. With the... Are they mercenarying up? They must be. But they're just never going to be... Yeah, they are. They're just never going to be able to match the numbers that Denmark can bring here. Like, Hamburg needed some friends. They didn't have any, and the others just went... No. What is Brandenburg hoping to gain from this? It's got to be Lauenburg. It really has got to be. So Hamburg, Dietermarsch, and East Frisia are all here now. They probably have set... Follow me, attached to this army. Yes, they have. And are they vassals? They are in fact vassals. Okay. So this is going to be 21,000 against 18,000. The numbers, morale's the same. No, Hamburg's actually got 4.4 morale to the 3.8. Tactics are the same. Cavalry is roughly the same, but unfortunately Brandenburg is getting involved as well. No, Brandenburg's just going for Lauenburg. Brandenburg just wants the land. I don't think they really care what happens to Hamburg, the province. They just want Lauenburg. Unfortunately, it does look like Hamburg's losing this. They are, and they have been sent packing. Yeah, unfortunate for Hamburg. I was looking forward to having a decent northern trade power. Now we're going to have to... It's basically going to be the match-off between Denmark and England. This is going to be a very interesting rivalry, I suspect. The Danish Baltic. Oh, this land actually went to Denmark. This is a strong Denmark that's appearing here. And then Prussia did indeed go to Brandenburg, but they don't have both sides yet. They need East and West Prussia to get their goal. So they still need Danzig, Tuchel, and Marienburg. And that's a Polish vassal. So Poland has blocked this goal, this achievement. Meanwhile, any other wars going on? Aragon is fighting against somebody. Aragon is fighting against Morocco, Talifat and Sus. Do Aragon have the same goal as Castile to go for the Maghreb? Aragon don't have that goal. Aragon wants 8 3-level centres of trade, 3 colonial nations of 20 provinces, confirmed Thessalocracy decision, Rhodes, Crete, Cyprus and Corfu, and own Alexandria. So the fact that Venice currently owns Alexandria is going to be a problem for Aragon. There have definitely been quite a few competitions being done between the Aragonese and the Venetians. So Mediterranean is a bit of a mess. Aragon, Naples, Venice, Genoa, Ottomans, Mamelukes, and Tunis all have a vested interest in the Mediterranean. That's a lot of powers fighting for this. The Papal States to a lesser extent, and Florence to a lesser extent. Those two have different ambitions, but all of the others are all about Mediterranean dominance. Is Denmark's province count big enough to Diplo annex Norway yet? Well, they have 0 liberty desire. Let's see what that requires. Hello.
10 o'clock, so are we going to keep going, or...?
No, we're going to have to call it here on, fortunately.
Ready, then.
So, how should we do this?
You everybody up?
Yeah, go ahead and pause it, and I'll bring everyone into the chat channel. So, I warn you, Twitch, this is about to get loud. Hello, 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 hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello,
Hello.
hello, hello. Bringing everyone in. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
hello. I'm just saying hello so you don't share any secrets.
Is
Hello,
that-
hello, hello.
Hello.
It's the end.
Hello.
Hello, 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 hello.
Guys speak France, right?
Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello. Hello. Wow, it takes a long time to move this many players around. Hello. Hello. That is everyone. Hello.
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 And there we are. The end of the first session of this completely and utterly mental multiplayer series of Interclash.
Literally nothing happened.
Absolutely nothing. Yeah, it was kind of boring
Yeah,
to
So
watch.
nothing
Nothing
important in this
happened.
game.
So how do we think that this first session went? Is it what you expected?
Yes.
No.
Very much so.
Yeah,
Dead.
it ended
Very
like
scared.
expected.
24 runs in bankruptcy. Yes, it's what I expected.
I expected to win against Florence, but okay.
So, we are ending the session here. I'm just going to say a few words. I am going to be rewriting some of the goals because it's unfair that some nations can literally not win anymore, thanks to the dissolution of the history. Thanks, that guy.
Sorry about that.
That guy, you get a 0 out of 10.
You're
That's all right.
welcome.
I mean, that goal still counts as completed for him, but I will be rewriting some of those. I still want to see a major religious clash later on, so your choice of, for the Catholic nations, your choice of Protestant, Reformed, Anglican, or Catholic will still matter. I will probably be changing a lot of the league goals to province ownership for your religion. So it's going to be in your best interest to have as many people converting to Protestant, Catholic, Reformed, or Anglican, depending on your side in that particular struggle. But for some of the others, like become emperor, I'm going to need to think about what to change that with.
What if everyone just, ditches Catholicism?
No, dude.
Nah,
Protestantism is
do it.
basically paganism.
And so it begins.
heretic.
Anyway, I just want to say thank you, all of you, for playing. I do hope you're enjoying this so far. We will be resuming this next Sunday
Syria.
at the same time, 3 o'clock p.m. British Summer Time. Thank you, everyone, for Twitch, for watching. I will tell you guys that you've had over 100 people watching today. It has been a very popular stream. And
Cool.
I
No
think it's
lives.
been a big success so far. So thanks, everyone, for watching. Thanks, everyone, for playing. And we'll catch you guys next week. Goodbye.
GG, thanks.
Bye.
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 Bye.